Almighty and eternal God, who through Jesus Christ has revealed your glory to all nations, please protect and preserve Belize, our beloved country. God of might, wisdom, and justice, please assist our Belizean government and people with your Holy Spirit of counsel and fortitude. Let the light of your divine wisdom direct their plans and endeavors, so that with your help we may attain our just objective. With your guidance, may all our endeavors tend to peace, social justice, liberty, national happiness, the increase of industry, sobriety, and useful knowledge. We pray, O God of mercy, for all of us, that we may be blessed in the knowledge and sanctified in the observance of your most holy law, that we may be preserved in union and in peace, that which the world itself cannot give. And after enjoying the blessings of this life, please admit us, dear Lord, to that eternal reward that you have prepared for those who love you. Amen.
Amen.
Good morning, members, and welcome to Day 3 of the debate for the General Revenue Appropriation Bill 2026-2027. I recognize the member from Queen Square.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Permission to refer to my notes. Before I proceed with this contribution, my contribution to this year's budget debate, I would like to take a moment to thank the lovely people of Queen Square. They have been resilient UDPs and continue to support us for decades. Many thanks to the UDPs who are also in the gallery. Allow me to take a moment to recognize the women of Belize, particularly the resilient women of Queen Square. Happy Women's Month to all. I thank them for stretching every dollar to feed our children and for being the glue that holds many families together, particularly in Queen Square. Listening to the past 2 days of this budget has made one thing clear. This administration is starting to live in a bubble. It seems that many of the ministers are under a spell of the magic wand, or they all drank the blue Kool-Aid. They must be hypnotized, Mr. Speaker, because most Belizeans are suffering financially, barely living one paycheck to paycheck. But let me say this, we acknowledge the ongoing initiatives to increase access to health care, education, and infrastructure. These are all good. We also heard when the minister from Lekai announced that no new taxes have been introduced in this year's national budget. But, Mr. Speaker, this budget oversees a heavy increase in the cost of living, increase in fuel. Just last night, diesel took a whopping 20% increase. Increase in electricity, increase in water bill, increase in property tax, increase in trade license, and who knows what else will increase. The member from Lekai also mentioned, and it was a great suggestion, that we should subsidize KHMH fully. We on this side would like to join in that call for a full subsidy for KHMH. The interesting thing though, the member from Lekai sits in cabinet, so I was surprised to hear him come to this house when he should go to cabinet with it. He is the fighter of the poor people in Belize City, so why isn't he going to cabinet with this? I don't know. Belizeans are struggling. The pressure is real. Even a minister who sits on the back bench was heard saying that he's asking for his people to keep the faith. And this administration will deliver on the past promises. Belizeans, don't ever forget that broken promises are a part of this administration. Remember the 1,000 homes? Remember the promise to reduce fuel prices? Mr. Speaker, let me stop with the failed promises. We on this side of the House recognize that governance is not only about criticizing, it is also about offering a better way forward, and that is exactly what we intend to do. Let me start with the Ministry of Health and Wellness. In the Minister's presentation, he told a pretty story, millions on top of millions for health care in the draft estimates. But, Mr. Speaker, he's not just another line item. Health is not just another line item. It is life itself. At the very heart of this system are our doctors and nurses. They are the heartbeat of the health system. They carry the weight of our nation's well-being every single day. Yet, in all the numbers and all the narratives presented in this House, there was a glaring omission, no mention of the potential departure of the Cuban Medical Brigade. No clarity on what that would mean for our healthcare system. The silence is concerning. The Cuban Medical Brigade has been a fixture in our medical system, I believe from around the 1980s, and they were even stronger during the COVID-19 era. In fact, Cuban Medical Brigade has played a pivotal role in the healthcare system in many CARICOM countries like Barbados and Jamaica. The real crisis surrounding the Cuban Medical Brigade's future in Belize appears to be mounting international pressure from the USA to end the brigade program. Apparently, in countries like Jamaica, the Cuban doctors are not being paid directly. They only receive a portion of their salaries, while the remainder must go directly to the Cuban government. The government of Belize has not released a specific agreement with the Cuban Brigade, nor has the government revealed how much each doctor or nurse is being paid. We recognize that this is a delicate international geopolitical discussion. We also understand it involves diplomacy and international pressure being exerted on our sovereign nation. But the reality is this: our public hospitals are already under strain. They are stretched thin with medical personnel. In many cases, our hospitals and our clinics rely on the support of Cuban doctors and nurses. Mr. Speaker, this situation can easily become a matter of national emergency. If the Cuban Medical Brigade must leave, what is the plan? The draft estimates has money allocated for their salaries, but it does not contemplate a shortage of doctors and nurses in Belize. Where would we source the doctors from? Mr. Speaker, this budget speaks about being future-focused, yet it fails to reflect any meaningful increase in salaries for doctors and nurses. Are we to believe that our healthcare system will attract doctors to return home under the same financial conditions that caused many of them to leave this country? And let us be clear, we need a budget that will increase the salary of doctors and nurses in this country. There are multiple other avenues that the government could pursue. Give a grant or increase allowances such as housing or hardship, student loan relief, or even special access to land. And you can start, of course, with the famous starter home as a part of this comprehensive incentive package for doctors and nurses. These are practical, achievable solutions, but they require planning, vision, and commitment. What we see instead is a government lacking preparedness. Mr. Speaker, planning must start before the problem gets bigger. This is why we say this administration is living in a bubble. They seem to be disconnected from the realities on the ground. Anyways, living in the real Belize, there are mothers in Dangriga waiting hours at clinics, fathers in Orange Walk having to choose between dialysis or groceries, and all those Belizeans wondering if our health system truly cares for them when they need it the most. I think most Belizeans welcome the PM's comment in his budget speech to upgrade polyclinics, to recruit additional healthcare workers, and to ensure that the clinics are not just open, but properly staffed. Those are forward-thinking ideas, and Belizeans know this is long overdue. While this year's budget carries with it a lot of lofty ideas, Belizeans are not asking for more ideas. They're asking for results. Results like every Belizean should have access to primary care, like every Belizean should have access to dialysis and cancer treatment. Results like every Belizean should have access to free and, most of all, readily available medication in public hospitals. That's the point where government wants Belizean. This government intends to spend $57 million on the National Health Insurance, NHI. That's an expected increase of $7 million. This is the budget year where NHI is being rolled out to the Cayo district. Roll it, roll it, roll it out to the country. Sounds good, right? We all agree. But that's the point where the government wants Belizeans to stop thinking, drink the blue Kool-Aid, and start celebrating with them. Well, here is the point the opposition is paying keen attention to. You see, when you question things further, you realize that essentially this government is privatizing NHI with taxpayers' money. They are paying private clinics to deliver primary health care under NHI. Under this year's budget, Cayo District will see 70% of their NHI patients attend private clinics, while only 30% of them will go to public clinics. Yes, this may be a quick way to increase access and efficiency to health care, but no doubt it increases the cost of health care because companies are first and foremost profit-driven. So, in my respectful view, sending patients to a private clinic is not a very smart financial move. And now here lies the amusing power of capitalism and politics in Belize. The PUP renationalized Bolido in this country about 5 years ago, taking the Bolido profits away from a private company and calling it Fui Bolido. We on this side recognize the benefits of that, Prime Minister. But we also recognize, Mr. Speaker, that Fui Bolido is now starting to look like Fui biggest Bukut. Because the profits from the People's Bolido, along with some of taxpayers' hard-earned money, are being channeled right back to the PUP cronies in the form of lavish NHI contracts. I won't name those PUP cronies today because my debate is about the people's money. Again, Mr. Speaker, on this side of the House, we're not here to simply criticize. We're here to propose solutions. We recommend the following. Cap the share of NHI services delivered by private providers to no more than 40 to 50%, ensuring that the public system remains the backbone of primary health care in Belize. Introduce a standard patient pricing model where both private and public providers are reimbursed at the same rate to prevent inflated costs and ensure fairness. Implement performance-based contracts for providers where payments are tied to measurable incomes such as reduced wait times, patient satisfaction, and treatment success rates. Strengthen transparency and accountability by publishing NHI contracts and conduct and release NHI audits. That way, Belizeans can see how their money is being spent. Mr. Speaker, countries like Costa Rica have shown that a strong public health care system, properly funded and efficiently managed, can deliver universal health care. We also acknowledge the government's push towards preventative care because we too believe that keeping Belizeans healthy from the start is always the goal. Where we differ is how we go about achieving this goal. You see, Mr. Speaker, when someone visits a private NHI clinic, the government pays the clinic a set fee to see X number of patients. This fee includes doctor's fee, administration fee, and profits, of course. Our public NHI facilities, which are government operated like the Polyclinic in San Narciso Corozal and the Cleopatra White Clinic in Belize City, don't get extra fees and profits. They run on a lean, mean budget. That's why government clinics and hospitals tend to be in dire state of repair. That's why human resources such as government doctors and nurses are in short supply. And that's why many medications are non-existent in public clinics and hospitals. Mr. Speaker, if we continue to expand NHI primarily through private providers like in the Kaya district, we risk create a system where those access to private clinics receive quicker service than those who depend on the public clinics. They will continue to face delays and shortages. More than that, we risk NHI expansion in a private sector system that will only become more expensive, not more efficient and effective. Remember, every dollar spent on higher cost private NHI is a dollar not invested in hiring more medical personnel, upgrading equipment, or reducing wait times in public clinics. And that is what Belizeans truly need and deserve when it comes to health care. Mr. Speaker, all we are saying, let us strengthen our public clinics and hospitals so we can deliver a better NHI service. This side of the House wants to make clear this position. Private NHI providers should be a part of the system, just not the foundation of NHI. Let us put in place clear controls, performance standards, and transparency so that the Belizean people know that their money is being well spent. Most Belizeans don't care about the numbers or the line items in the draft estimate. They care about the personal impact of the budget. Will they have money in their pockets, shorter waiting times, and better access to medicines? Back to the Minister of Natural Resources. He mentioned that land can serve as an anchor for families, a foundation of stability, security, and opportunity. But, Mr. Speaker, I ask, what is the value of the anchor if you can't get it to hold on anything? You see, the majority of these nice 19,000 house lots, you can't find it, you can't use it because there's still no access to it. And as such, you cannot say it's a tool of immediate empowerment. That's why some first-time landowners have to resort to selling it. Here lies the problem. Both governments issued out house lots with no future plan. The house lots are often located in areas without proper roads and without basic infrastructure, such as electricity and water. In some cases, they are not even reachable by the land surveyors, by the land inspectors in the lands department. What is the sense of having a land title if you cannot get to your land, cannot build on it, and cannot use it to support your family? This is not empowerment. This is not transformation. Again, Mr. Speaker, this is a broken dream that this administration is selling. These shortcomings are even acknowledged by the PUP side of the House. One member revealed, if not yesterday, on Monday, a plan to visit the Prime Minister's office to request assistance for infrastructure in these same very circumstances. There's no roads. Even though we build roads to nowhere there's no roads to someone's house lot in Belize. Mr. Speaker, we are not saying that we oppose the initiative of land distribution. We support the idea that Belizeans should have access to land. We, the UDP, initiated the mobile land clinic. We know the importance of owning a piece of the jewel, but we cannot support But what we cannot support is the presentation of numbers without substance or the progress.
Members, please let's allow the member from Queen Square to continue.
But what we cannot support is the presentation of numbers without substance or progress without practicality. We propose a simple but critical shift. Expansion must be planned. Land distribution should only occur with proper planning for roads, utilities, and access with a clear timeline and budget. Development is not just about how many titles are issued. It's about whether those titles translate into real improvements in people's lives. It's about whether a single mother can safely access her land, build a home, and raise her children with dignity. It's about a family of 6 not having to worry about paying rent. This government must move beyond headline figures and focus on meaningful outcomes. If land is to be an anchor, then it must be secured with proper infrastructure, planning, and support. Otherwise, we risk leaving thousands of Belizeans holding paper promises instead of real opportunities. To the Ministry of Education, there are many great initiatives being done by MOE, and we welcome and appreciate them. However, we would like to caution that on Monday, the Minister of Education mentioned the term free education. I think it is the second year I've heard him use the term free education. Mr. Speaker, in my view, that's the biggest lie that I've ever heard in this budget debate. I know the member from Kaya South, he's not here today. He detests liars. I should ask him to take his belt off and give a public flogging to any PUP member who dares to mislead these people again. To the child who attends St. Andrew's Anglican Primary in Kayo District, he or she must pay $135 in school fees. To the teen who attends Muffles High School in Orange Walk Town, he or she must pay $775 for the first year, plus $100 for summer school. Then we listen to the grandstanding statement that parents have no excuse not to send their children to school. The reality is not all schools are included in the free education program. This is where we see that the PUP narrative does not translate to the reality on the ground. We know that including all schools in the free education program may not be feasible. So we recommend targeted support, transportation subsidies, expanding school inclusion, and focused assistance for those who need it the most. I turn to tourism, youth, and sports. Mr. Speaker, these are the 3 pillars that are critical to the survival and future of this nation. Tourism remains the #1 money-making industry in Belize, or for Belize. Annual revenues in 2024 reached just over $800 million, making it the driving force for Belizeans employed in the field of taxi operators, tour guides, restaurants, hotels, water taxis, airlines, and many small businesses that find a niche under the tourism umbrella. Despite the significant role that tourism plays, it does not appear to hold significant weight in the draft estimates. You see, Mr. Speaker, tourism gets its real money outside the figures presented in the estimates, like floating bonds. With destinations like Mexico and Dominican Republic offering more affordable packages, Belize risks losing competitiveness. The recent announcement of JetBlue Discontinuing flights to Belize is only a warning sign. Fewer flights mean fewer overnight visitors, and overnight tourism is the backbone of the tourism industry. Seriously, is any marketing strategy in place this year to aid in attracting tourists to our shoreline via the airlines? JetBlue, as you all should know, announced that it will stop flying to Belize this summer. If overnight visitors decline, Belizeans will feel the effect immediately. Look at it this way. Behind every empty hotel room or Airbnb room, there will be Belizeans struggling to pay their bills. Our tourism product is not founded on quick cruise stops. It's founded on overnight stays. But, Mr. Speaker, serious concern remains. There is no clear, visible national strategy to address high airfare costs in Belize, limited global market reach, and the overall cost of the Belizean tourism experience. We on this side recommend a targeted airlift marketing strategy to attract and retain airlines, increase investment in data-driven global marketing, incentives to reduce destination costs, and greater transparency in tourism spending, including full reporting on the 2022 Blue Bond and tourism revenues. Tourism needs direction, not just recovery. Let me phrase it correctly. Tourism fuels our economy, while sports and youth development protects our future generation. Mr. Speaker, sports is one of the strongest developmental tools for our youths, yet it is underfunded and ignored. Over 60% of Belize's population is under the age of 35. That is not a statistics, that is a responsibility for this government. Compared to infrastructure projects like resurfacing roads and rebuilding bridges, no real attention and no real money is being pumped into sports in Belize. I'll put it this way, Mr. Speaker, we are building roads and bridges, but at the same time, we are losing our young people to crime and violence. That's the price of inequality in Belize. That may be the reason why no government, PUP or UDP, has been able to tackle the root causes of crime. Sports can be utilized as a strong crime prevention mechanism, but it requires massive, constant investments in school sporting programs, sport trainers, sport education, sporting complex and fields. I believe that every dollar spent on sport is really one more dollar spent in the fight against crime. Yet youth development and sports remain underfunded relative to their importance. Sports is not recreation. It is a health crisis prevention and a crime prevention plan. We recommend increased funding for sporting programs, signing or creating PPP for operating sporting facilities. The Belize Civic Center is a perfect example of this. Integration of sports into national crime prevention strategies. Mr. Speaker, I look at agriculture now. It has always been one of the key drivers of this economy: cane, citrus, banana. I start with the cane industry. I was hoping my brother from Crozal North was here to make his presentation, as he's far more versed than me in this one. But the importance of it,
Member from Queen Square, please continue.
thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Members, can we please allow the member from Queen Square to continue?
But the importance of the cane industry calls for me to address it. Thanks to the fact that I have a wife that comes from San Felipe or in Juak, I got a lesson in cane. The Wickabs and the My family are generational cane farmers. I've been on the cane fields. I've seen the hard work of caneros in Orange Walk. I can tell you that is a very, very demanding industry. It really calls for work every single day, from planting to fertilizing to putting the pesticides to burning and cutting. Cane farmers work very, very, very hard for this country. We all know that the cane industry has been plagued by the disease Fusarium, killing canes left, right, and center, not only in Belize, in the region as well. The need for pesticides, insecticides, and fertilizers is of utmost importance to the cane industry. When I first heard about GOB giving the $1 million for fertilizer, I was proud, only to find out the conditions that came with it was killing to the cane industry. The farmers from the north have fought hard year after year for the fair trade agreement, and I would never believe this government would offer them fertilizer in exchange of giving up fair trade. Mr. Speaker, that makes absolutely no sense to every canero that I have talked to in Orange Walk. And to see that the government is only willing to do it for one specific organization, Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association, it's obvious it's a deal to get them to move away from the legal case. I am with the cane farmers. Pursue judicial determination. When two parties can't agree, only the courts can give the middle ground. That's the legal system. It's there for you to use it. Oh yes, the member from Orange Walk South. I gather he's in his wheelchair right now, but quite capable of defending the caneros. If he needs me to push him to the caneros, I am willing to push him. Madam Leader of Opposition, I just want to tell you one thing, Madam Leader. I can't ask him one question. Who thief Budna? I can't ask him.
Members, please let's... Member from Alberta and Orange Walk Central, please let's allow the member from Queen's Square.
My final note on the cane farmers: unity is strength. Don't allow anyone to divide you. You guys have been the engine of change in this country. It saddens me that every member so far on that side of the House has refused to stand up in this House to defend you guys. Amazing. I push on to energy. I have to congratulate rural electrification. I know Indian Church, San Carlos in the past, received electricity. I saw the speech last night. Conejo in Toledo, other villages in Toledo. Job well done, Kayonard. The problem we have, do you know we have a problem? 70% of Belize's energy supply, electricity and fuel, is imported. Really a one-way trade deficit that's very hard to stop in this nation. Diesel, as I said earlier, only a 20% increase. This will affect nearly everything in the budget. The citrus farmers that have to fill their vehicles, that have to fill their trucks to pull citrus, the banana farmers, of course the cane farmers, every single industry will feel the effect of this. And brace yourself, Belizeans, because the price in gasoline is coming soon. I ask this government, on behalf of every single Belizean who has to use fuel, to please cushion the blow. That's where government is, that matters the most. There's countries like Sri Lanka, they have implemented a day off for workers. Barbados, Jamaica, they have capped fuel. There must be something, anything except nothing, towards the fuel crisis in Belize. As I wrap up, I find this year's budget to be a mixed bag. It scores on macro stability, it creates no new taxes, and it leaves a manageable budget deficit. But all this macro benefit comes at a huge sacrifice to all Belizeans. More financial pressure remains on the household. Mr. Speaker, while the numbers may look good on paper, the reality on the ground tells a very different story. This budget delivers stability at the top, but it pressures the poorest people at the bottom. It's like this government has stolen Santa Claus' big belt and they're tightening it around ordinary Belizeans. This year's national draft estimate lacks the day-to-day goodies that bring new economic relief and new opportunities to the household. Overall, our country's budget is getting bigger, but it's not translating into higher income for most Belizeans. For the single mothers in Queen Square, struggling with rent, food and transportation, this budget does not ease their burden. So, Mr. Speaker, I cannot support this budget because it does not bring enough relief to my fellow Belizeans. Enough is enough. Thank you.
I recognize the member from Belmopan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, first of all, I want to thank God for his never-ending blessings upon myself, my family, my good people of Belmopan. We are blessed, and we will continue to be blessed with a PUP government that cares for the people. Mr. Speaker, I also want to wish all the women in Belize, and especially those women in Belmopan, Happy Women's Month. I want to give my appreciation and shout out to the women that serve in the Belize Police Department. They serve beyond the call of duty many times. I also want to thank the women that serve in the Belize Defense Force and the Belize Coast Guard, always going beyond the call of duty. The job not easy, but they do it every day, ensuring that Belize is protected and ensuring that safety and security is a priority here in this country. Before I start with my contribution to the draft estimates and revenue expenditure for fiscal year 2026-2027, I was presented by the Prime Minister on March 10, 2026. I would also like to give my appreciation. I would also like to give my thanks to the men and women that serve in the armed forces and the Coast Guard. I was given the privilege of being the Minister of National Defense and Border Security for about 8 months, and I can tell you that they are professionals who work every single day to ensure that we are protected. And I will name some of them because they go beyond the call of duty. To General Azariel Loria, Commander BDF, previous Commander BDF, Admiral Bennett, who is now my CEO, to the Commissioner of Police, Not no easy job, you know. Has never been an easy job. But these men make sure that they work hard day in, day out. All hours of the night, they're on call. And to the new commander of the BDF, General Anthony Velasquez, I wish him well. I know him very well. We served together in the BDF, a man of principle, and I am sure that we left the BDF in good hands. To Admiral Soberanis, all the best to him as well. Very much well prepared. I know that they are now in the capable hands of our leader who has the same passion. The able leadership of the Honorable Member for Corozal Southeast, Honorable Florencio Marin Jr. I want to thank them for giving me that opportunity of having to lead them over the past months. And I must say that they have done a spectacular job and they continue to do a good job. Mr. Speaker, yesterday we were subjected to over 2.5 hours of a speech that in the end amounted to nothing. Whatever it was, the ramblings yesterday, up to now, we have no idea what that was. But that don't mean to say so, you know. That don't mean to say so. Like I read from somebody who say, is this crop really what you invited UDP supporters to tune into? This is not a call for we, you know. I wonder. I was telling you who? The man continued because he never get, you know. The man continues as supporters of the UDP. There is no need to waste your time clinging into false expectations. The reality is that there is no hope for the UDP in its current form. I say so for those who know it but cannot say it. My goodness. That's why I don't usually agree with that side, you know. I don't usually agree, don't know. But yesterday I have to agree with the member for Mesopotamia. You know where I agree with you with? When you tell your people that they voted for a strong opposition, because you will remain in opposition one term, but still in opposition. We'll have a long wait. Man call himself loyal opposition for a very long time. That part is so, I agree with you. I agree with you. So, Speaker, I don't know where all those numbers are coming from, because apparently the member for mess up like numbers. Like numbers. And the man say, well, we have some history too. The man said $78 million for salaries and pensions. And he don't want to support that, you know. That's too much. Let me tell you something, member for MESOP. Those are salaries and pensions for members of the public service, teachers and soldiers and everybody who they work here. Where you are, we do.
Mr. Speaker, just a correction.
Where you are, we do. You are make sure. You are make we.
$780 million.
Mr.
Speaker,
that's not the point of
$780
million. Member.
Yes.
All right.
Member from MESOP. Member from MESOP.
Where you want we do? 780 million? 780 million.
Member
so
from
you want
MESOP,
we slash that
please allow
number
the
because
member
we
to
want
continue.
retrench people? Let me tell you something. History shows that only the UDP retrench people, you know. Not this, not a PUP government. Because apparently that's the way you want to. You don't want to support this budget because we will spend too much for salaries and we spend too much for pension.
They talk to both sides of their mouth. That's the problem with them.
They don't understand. These are salaries and pensions for those people who work in the public service, those people who have earned it and deserve it. Well, I can't tell you that that's too much. So you want to cut it down. No, this government has never, a PU government has never retrenched anybody. That UNO. That's right. UNO do that. No we.
That's the legacy.
Now the legacy one no left. Want to talk about history. History.
Cool.
We don't have no compassion to the people. We want to talk about the house to small. A program that has transformed the lives of so many families. And you want to talk about, well, but you know why? Because when you have so much house that you could rent out,
Correct.
and so much buildings where you could rent out,
Correct.
not to everybody.
Cash price.
I rent to government too. Okay, but that's a different time. A different thing.
When they send one to school warrants, you know when they call it? Collateral damage. You remember that? Collateral damage.
And talk about the Lee house to small. Well, let me tell you something. Those starter homes have transformed the lives of so many people. This is a cement house we talk about with a bathroom or shower inside. When my family came to Belmopan, 1980, we never have no one-bedroom cement house. My dad went to live and took his family to live in the suburbs of Belmopan, or area called Salvapan. We had a one-bedroom thatch house, and we were proud of it. Now imagine a cement house. Man, you say when you don't know and when you not live, then at least small one-bedroom house, nothing. You can afford for the rent-out house and building. It has transformed. It has transformed the lives of so many people. And I want to talk just about Belmopan. Families who have received that sort of home, they're no one bedroom now. Because you see, when I go and I get and I hand over and I'm invited and I hand over this one bedroom house, I don't see a one bedroom house. I see the future of a family who have been given an opportunity to start off with one. And when I go back, and I have been visiting these people, they have 3-bedroom house now. You see, we give them that start that they desperately needed. 13 years they had a Ministry of Housing. How much millions? They now build a house. But want to come and criticize a program that have been changing lives, PM. The Minister of Housing, I mean, he rep for Mesopotamia, and he comes yesterday and talk about how he don't get no house. The minister, the member for Kyle South, read out all those mess up voters who have been given the opportunity of owning a house, but he don't know them there. He don't know them there because he does not know the people. Shine know them. Shine know them. Shine know.
You run, you the practice to run. Just tell that you run for shine.
Mr. Speaker, housing program has been one of those programs that I'm so very proud of from this government. It transforms lives, it transforms families. It gives you an opportunity where you believe you never have none. the same opportunity that my family got by living in the suburbs of Belmopan in the Salvapan area. And we never have no inside bathroom and inside shower, but we had a very good, nice creek, you know. The creek where I used to go bathe. 10 cent creek, cheap. So, Speaker, I wonder sometimes, you know, and a previous era rep said, amazing! Amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing what, where, and how we don't think, brother. It's amazing. Talk about where they build roads that will soon reach the moon. Yet, his colleague from Queen Square, they talk about, we don't have enough road because we can't get to the land. So that what? Will they build too much or we need more? I think the last, yes, they're confused. Listen, they can't keep up because one of the biggest criticisms from the member for Mesop is that we do too much project. Well, make me tell you something, member. We will continue to do project after project after project after project, and we will do 4 or 5 projects at the same time. Talk about 4, that too much. We will continue, because that is what this government is about. I say the land where we give away, I need road. Where they work on the road. Because I talk about Belmopan, and the light and the water. That's right. And yes, Member for Kayanor, thank you so much for the expansions that are going to happen. And I'm sure that we have gotten the necessary financing for the expansion of utilities. It's coming very soon. Discuss it in Cabinet. And of course, we agree that it's something that is necessary. So, the road now reached no moon, but they have reached the lots and the land of those Belizeans who need it and who have to reach and start build their house. That's the way you reach. You have reached no moon. You have reached Scotland half moon. You not reach the moon. You have reached Scotland half moon. So, Speaker, see, on this side we understand about prosperity. And the Prime Minister has very adequately presented the budget titled Budgeting for Belizean Prosperity. We know what that means, you know. But when you don't hear prosperity on the other side, you don't get frightened and you don't get jumpy. Because it means that you will stay on that side for the next 5 years. That's why you don't get jumpy. You say, I'll stay 50 years, right, Minister? Because prosperity exposes something that is very, very clear. For 13 years, on a field for deliver prosperity to the Belizean people. 13 years. And when I'm in a government, the Prime Minister get up and say, we have millions and millions of dollars in the coffers. Yeah. And we have millions for next year and the next year and the year after that and the year after that and the year after that. Where the millions get to, brother? Because just before general elections, the man said, I cry for my Belize. I grieve. I promised brother for Toledo West Colbert, you don't get none. No Colbert. I promised the member from Cayo North Colbert too. I don't get none. Northeast. Cayo Northeast. But they had millions and millions and millions in the coffers. All glitter, no substance. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you say, when we speak about prosperity, It is because we work for our people and people feel the prosperity. Houses like never before are being built. Education. Everybody get a chance to get an education. More children are going to school like never before. You had your break, you know. You had your break. Stop lie. Lift your face, stop lie.
Stop lying.
You see, the way they left this economy, Prime Minister, I have a joke, and that's the reason why. That's the reason why the previous Prime Minister had to say what he said. And maybe that's the reason why I don't feel that we had to fire people. But no, we rolled up our sleeves, and as a cabinet we came together under the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister John Bresenyo, and we rescued this economy and this country, not by anything being imposed on us by IMF, you know, or the World Bank or any of those multilateral. No, it was homegrown, because we know and we feel. Well, Mr. Speaker, prosperity cannot be done without security. At the Ministry of Home Affairs and Enterprise, we support in providing a secure and safe environment where investments can prosper, families can thrive, and our country can grow without constant threats. And this budget supports our ministry's vision of a safe, secure, and prosperous nation, fostered through collaboration, innovation, and data-driven processes to ensure social justice, sustainable growth, and economic sovereignty. I would like to thank the member for a previous minister, a member for Caribbean Shores, Honorable Karim Musa. Thank you, sir, for your stellar leadership in the ministry before I got there. So majority of the good work and majority of the things that are now coming to fruition was because of your leadership and your dedication to security of our country. And that is why the Ministry of Home Affairs and Enterprise is central to this budget, because we protect Belize and we enable Belize to prosper. I'm not going through the numbers, because I read out all the numbers. The budget book is there. I go like my friend from MESOP, member for MESOP, who gone through numbers where you never understand. So, but what we are doing, Mr. Speaker, is that in this year, in this new budget, we'll have a new recruit intake of approximately 200 new police officers that will increase the strength of the police department and assist in maintaining the manpower requirement of the department's 3,000 police officers. And to complement the human resources of the police department, we have, through the Belize Integral Security Program, many projects that are ongoing, that are going to start very, very, very soon. And we have projects at the construction of the new police station in Bella Vista, construction of the new police station in San Narciso, construction of the new police station in Kikaka. And we have invested in a camera network and 911 response system for the police department. But we're not done yet, you know. In the very near future, and some of these projects are now at the stage where it is going to go out for tender. The construction and equipment of a 911 facility And now a police station will soon be started at the Chetomal Boulevard in Belize City. And my colleague from Lekai will be glad to know.
Right next to the fire station.
Exactly, right next to the fire station.
National headquarters.
The national headquarters for the fire station. I hope, no, you know what happened? You know what happened? I never get in going for sell that again. Because when you talk about sell, man, I don't want to start because in a Belmopan they sell out all the buffer. In a Belmopan they sell out all the streets. In a Belmopan they sell for sidewalk. That crowd I never joke. That crowd I never joke.
They sell street, they put up fences.
Because if we want to talk about sell, and that the person when I said that the UDP caretaker for Belmopan, you know, I know where he in there. Because he in a hole and he'll come out, none at all. No, that the previous one, he do karaoke. This one here just, you know, a house to play games. Remember, you know, we're not going through that because when we start, if everybody know the history of Hilltop, something where we were proud about when we were young. And the member for Korea Southeast group part time in Belmopan too. And we used to go to Hilltop, go enjoy ourselves as youths. Who sell Hilltop? Who sell Almond Boulevard? Who sell Philip Golson Boulevard? The one by you, Philip Golson PM. Who sell that boulevard? No. But the one who sell it, they aspire for the day. But I can tell you something, as long as I'm here working for the people of Belmopan, he has never reached them. Never. This is not about me, you know. It's about a team. A team who has given so much. A team who works hard every single day. Part of the team there, and I must say thanks to the team that is supporting today. Brian, my chairman, thank you so much for the hard work, brother. I bless not only by the love of the people of Belmopan, but by the family way, kind of biggish, the 10 away. 10, yeah, times 2, times 3 now, because my nephews then turn 18 too. And when we come as a team. No joke. Lot. Because we have seen the work, we have seen what this government is about. But make I get back, because we have a chance to talk about Belmopan. I get back to the police department. Mr. Speaker, in the very near future, as I said, the 911 facility and police station at Chetomal Boulevard, construction and equipment of the Santa Elena police station. That is going to happen. Construction very much needed. Phase 2 of the camera network and 911 response system expansion for Belize City and Belmopan. See, during my recent tour of police stations across the country, and in consultation with the different area reps and different community leaders, we have seen that there is also the need to expand and the need for new police stations. I'm pleased to announce that thanks to the hard work, the member for Toledo West, sir, we will build the new police station in Big Falls. Thank you so much for facilitating the land. I was told that it's there, available, and we will make sure that we build a new police station at Big Falls. We're also going to ensure that we upgrade the police station in Santa Familia. The police station very much needed now that the road is paved, and all the things which are so much things happening under this government, and no joke, you know. Road they paved, a bridge they get built, connecting Santa Familia with Santa Elena, and therefore we are going to renovate and we're going to ensure that the police station in Santa Familia is adequate for the purpose that it was done. Now, in the year 2025 to 2026, all of those total investments of the Belize Interior Security Program came to $9.1 million Belize, and a total proposed investment of over $27.5 million in the year 2026 and 2027. You know why? Because we take police security very serious. Thanks to the Minister responsible for economic transformation and Kabay, who we had to rescue alone, you know, because for so long, for so much years, it was just there. And our previous administration couldn't get or didn't have the capacity, nor the will, to ensure that we got those monies working. At the Ministry of Home Affairs and Enterprise, we believe in technology that delivers results. And if you notice all around the country, we have cameras. 553 cameras installed nationwide up to now. We are adding 300 more. And these cameras are helping and assisting us in solving crimes, supporting arrests, and strengthening investigations. We not just install cameras, we make them work. We are investing in the training and artificial intelligence integration because we believe in the future and we believe in investing in the future of policing in Belize. So, will they have fun? Yes. You say, Mr. Speaker, these cameras are not just cameras. They also, we are making sure that we integrate in the cameras facial recognition, license plate recognition, and all of those are going to help the police department in making sure that we solve the crimes and in supporting the work of the police. In addition to the installation of the surveillance cameras, the police department has also developed a drone team that has been contributing to the effectiveness of our response mechanisms. In the coming fiscal year, we will be expanding that drone program with acquisition of new platforms to support the tactical deployment of our officers on the ground. See, Mr. Speaker, I want to emphasize that the Belize Police Department is going through a phase of reform, of refocus, and of rebuilding, with a dedicated pledge to address past misconducts and inefficiencies, and helping to realign policing with the core principles of professionalism, community trust, while in turn institutionally strengthening the department through greater accountability, modernizing its capabilities, and ethical leadership. We also want to make sure that we integrate technology and advance data-driven policing by streamlining intelligence operations. So we have merged the Joint Intelligence Coordinating Center, COMSTAT, and Interpol into a single crime fusion center. And this center consolidates crime data and intelligence from various sources into one unified platform. And its purpose is to leverage real-time analysis, AI, and cross-agency data sharing to detect crime patterns and forecast hotspots. So, Speaker, we know I left technology to leave us behind. Technology is a big part of what we do, and we're going to make sure that technology integrated in the new policing strategy that we are doing. Deputy, I think you know that we are building a police station on the Lekai Boulevard. Yes, sir. Well, let me highlight some of the programs where we are using technology to complement the management of our criminal justice, the new Albert Street criminal justice system. I can't help but say that our National Forensic Science Services will be acquiring a new server that will be able to house our national DNA database. Major development. Thank you so much, Minister. You are very instrumental in making sure that we have everything legally possible to ensure that we have a DNA database. We will enable our forensic services to own and operate a lab with a repository of genetic profiles used to store, analyze, and compare DNA samples. We use this for criminal investigations, forensic identification, and genetic research. And this server will improve our ability to solve crime, to find missing persons, and importantly, very importantly, exonerate innocent people through the use of science-based evidence. Mr. Speaker, our efforts at the Ministry of Home Affairs and Enterprise as it relates to administering the criminal justice system must be balanced and fair, accurate through science as one of our strategic priorities. Mr. Speaker, we are well underway to achieving this full capacity. Late last year, we passed the DNA bill to give us that legal framework to support this initiative, and we are happy to report that different components of this capability are coming to fruition very, very shortly. Another application of technology that will improve our investigation and judicial work and firearms control is the Integrated Ballistic Information System, or IBIS. We currently have one system, which is operated by the National Forensic Science Service, and I must say has been making significant contributions to the tracing of firearms and supporting crime scene management. And our plan is to upgrade and have another system that is going to support the work of the Firearms Control Board in the management of firearms registry across the country, and also support the police department in their own investigations. So you see, Mr. Speaker, we're building capacity, we are increasing human resources, and we are integrating technology into citizen security as a demonstration of our balanced approach towards achieving what Plan Belize states, and I quote, "We will put the Belizean people and their security at the forefront of our endeavors, prioritizing their well-being and safety in this country." So sometimes when you make certain statements without knowing, they're a bad thing, you know. When you try to make panic, when you try make people panic.
Member from Albert. Member from Albert.
Mr. Speaker, on a point of order for the 2B, the leader of the opposition keep interfering, and she's the one that always shouting for the 2B on that side.
Members, please let's allow the member from Belmopan to continue his presentation.
Sir, Mr. Speaker, I never want to go into that statement that the leader of the opposition did yesterday without any kind of basis. Without any kind of basis, wanting to bring panic.
Members, member from Albert.
When you don't even know where pardon containers come from, then you talk. I know I said the word. All right? You talk about containers or you talk about fuel? Because when you don't know, let me tell you, the Corozal Free Zone has had more than 1.1 million visitors over the last year. And you know why? Because people feel safe to do business in the Corozal Free Zone. No containers, no, they come from Mexico.
Member from Albert.
Let me shut it down. That we open it, this government opened the Corozal Free Zone, which employs more than 1,500 persons from the Corozal and Ridgewater district. Families directly benefiting. They are just employees, you know. I talk about security of Corozal Free Zone and man. Sir Speaker, we do face many challenges as a society, and especially the negative impacts of gang and gun violence. We're not immune, and we understand. Let me say this here. To those that resort to gun violence, and not only so-called gangs, because they are real gangs when you analyze them, stop. Stop the shooting and stop the killing. There's only so much. There's only so much, you know. We'll make sure that we continue with our intelligence-led operations in Abilene City and other areas, because what some of those people needed was 15 years ago, the opportunity of education, the opportunity of a home, the opportunity of not having to resort to gangs and other violence. But I mean, 15 years ago, you know, now we have to deal with them, we have to deal with them stiff. However, we also need to recognize the importance of intervention, rehabilitation, and creating opportunities for those that are vulnerable to violence and crime. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, this budget is investing $5.3 million to support our youth anti-violence multi-sectorial program. That our increase, you know, our increase, Deputy, we're serious, you know. We are serious in giving second opportunities. But then they wonder where, we are dealing with it too. We will continue to, they don't support the budget, they don't say it. All the ones who spoke up to now don't support this budget. They don't support the $5.3 million for our youth anti-violence multi-sectoral program. They don't support that. Say, I don't support that budget. I don't know if you may read everything, but they don't support it. We will continue to support and expand our leadership intervention unit, geared towards mediation efforts in order to prevent crime. And this LIU, I don't know, police-led. Yes, we have police officers there, but this LIU intervention effort is spearheaded by community leaders who understand the dynamics of their respective communities. They work alongside police officers whose aim is to coordinate community outreach. And we have a lot of initiatives that we do, and we will continue to support the LIU. I must say that there is a need to reform the program and expand the program, and we will be able to reach more at youth risk. And I will be working with those leaders from the south side of Belize City and those that are affected, and not only Belize City, you know. We have other areas that we have to ensure that we touch before we reach that stage. So we are going to expand LIU. You see, our youth anti-violence program provides funding for trade education, provides funding for entrepreneurship, and it also provides funding for creating real second chances. So if we've gone through this whole book, this whole budget, I am sure that there is no way that we can stand in here and say, I do not support this budget. But core to our mission is also community policing and crime prevention. Our police, youth, cadet, and neighborhood watch programs, they play a critical role in keeping our communities safe. These are examples of programs that constitute a major part of our crime prevention strategy. Like I touch a little bit on the free zones, because I listened to an interview that was done yesterday, not by choice, but you just pop up. Yeah. You know, free zones are key drivers of prosperity. They perfectly align with this year's budget theme. And the Corozal Free Zone alone brought in over $86 million in revenue last year and contributed more than $19 million in social fees to the government. It employs 1,512 Belizeans today, making it one of the largest employers in the Corozal district. And it's a major engine for economic activity with over 1.1 million visitors last year. Over 1 million visitors means that they feel safe for going in there and buy. Over 1 million visitors means that, say nobody to take over the Corozal Free Zone. We have made sure, and thanks to the Ministry of National Defense and Border Security, thank you very much, Minister, for providing the manpower. So we have BDF and police at the new police station that was open at the Corozal Free Zone. And there are people patrol that zone, because we want to make sure that those that do business in there are safe. We want to make sure that they feel safe, because and they have a certain media house where they bring up all kind of things. Make it seems like the Corozal Free Zone that were here where we say money in a camouflage and all kind of things on the head and with some big gun and I get frightened. I say, my goodness, what will happen? I need to go and make sure nothing no go so. Nothing. But we know our weight, because we are proactive and we make sure that we provide the security that is required at the Corozal Free Zone. And whatever happens on the Mexican side, it's their business. It's their business. And like I tell you, no container come from Corozal to the Corozal Free Zone. Our containers come from the port, Belize Port. Right? So when you talk, Madam Member for Albert, of some people where they hold for we containers hostage and you have to man, get your facts together before you say something that is going to haunt you in the future. You see, the Corozal Free Zone and the zone and the free zones in the country aren't just trade hubs. They are vital commercial centers that boost businesses and livelihoods. And public confidence in these zones is strong. And we keep it making that way by entrusting robust security. As I mentioned, we work with the Ministry of National Defense and Border Security. We have added patrols. We have new operations based at the Corozal Free Zone. We just added new cameras along the perimeter of that zone to make sure that people feel safe. We're also equipping and making sure that technology is working by the cameras being license plate, by adding the license plate readers, facial recognition, and all that technology can offer. So all of these things we are doing to ensure that the zone is safe for business. The problem on the other side, we understand there is a problem on the other side. And we have been working with our counterparts, but we only could do so much. We are making sure that on the side, we keep ourselves safe. Mr. Speaker, let me turn a bit to Belmopan. I'm conscious of the great honor that has been given to me. First, thanks, PM, for entrusting me with the responsibility as the Minister of Home Affairs and Enterprise to serve the people of Belize and to maintain an environment of peace and good order that our society rightfully deserves. I have done my best to discharge this task and will continue to do so. And our success is largely through the work and support of a dedicated team of professional public officers, our uniformed men and women, and the cooperation of the people living in our communities in all parts of our country. Police department can't do this alone, but we do it with the help of the communities that we serve. However, the honor to serve in this honorable House is owed, Mr. Speaker, to the good people of Belmopan who has given me their confidence, who have elected me to this honorable House for a second time, and to them I say thank you very much. I tell you, I have a team that works hard. I have a team who, day in, day out, we have a lot of responsibilities and they know that. And as much as I want to be with them every single day, I cannot do that. But there's a team. And I want to shout to Mr. Castro and his wife. Because when I get there, I get there by twos, you know. So Castro, thank you very much, sir. You and your wife, you know, then they're out there every single day. And no matter what the night, man, I make sure they call me. Say I have this complaint. Sir, thank you very much for your dedication, for your hard work. It's all for Belmopan. The team not small, the team get big.
Mr. Speaker, in accordance with Standing Order 12.8, I move that the proceedings on the order paper may be entered upon and proceeded with at this day's sitting at any hour due opposed.
Honorable members, the question is that the proceedings on the order paper may be entered upon and proceeded with at this day's sitting at any hour due opposed. All those in favor kindly say aye. Aye. Those against kindly say no. I think the ayes have it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. We more than what I'm doing at 13 years. Yeah. In a less time. But I take this responsibility very, very seriously. And as I debate this budget, I cannot just limit myself to numbers and just limit myself to what is in that book, but I must speak on results. At the end of the day, budget exercise needs to translate to real and meaningful changes for the betterment of the people that we serve. And I have a duty and a commitment to the people of Belmopan to create the conditions where development is not something we hear about, but something we feel, something visible, something measurable, something tangible, and something undeniable. No matter what they say, can't deny that we know they have progress at Belmopan. We have moved from talk to action, from plans to execution, from promises to performance. And that is the difference that we have brought to Belmopan. It's the nation's capital, you know. And as such, we must shine. And shine we do. Mr. Speaker, where there was once neglect, we have brought attention and investment. Where there was delay, we have brought urgency and delivery. Where there was disconnect, we have brought presence and engagement. I'm giving us some examples because I'm just a talk for talk's sake. So for years, the residents of our Belmopan communities and the suburbs, like where I went to live many years ago, Salvapan, Las Flores, San Martin, Belmopan, they never have the roads that you were talking about, member of Queen Square, to reach their land. Why? Because the previous administration got up our land frenzy, they give away land right, left, and center, feeling that that may make a win election. I didn't do it just before elections, you know. Go ahead and just give away. No concerns for the road or how they get there. We have been working steadily. And I said that we have done all, but we work steadily, and every single year we open new roads. Every single year we make sure that those that have gotten their lands in the area can access their land. And in a central Belmopan, they have good roads, they have good drains, they have electricity and water. They needed friendly spaces for their families to go and enjoy the weekends. Well, guess what? Belmopan have a park that we are very proud of. Light up the park every year. I enjoy, and I can see the enjoyment of the families every single day you go out to that park. All year long, because we change the theme as a change. You know, we go for Christmas to Love Park, Valentine's, for Valentine's to Easter. And behind, you know, we have a team. We work hard, you know, and they come up with so much ideas. And we not do it. No, they don't. And they come to me with so much big ideas. They think big. That way we do. We think big. It is very nice, and I am proud of the team because I can't do it by myself. It takes a whole team to make sure that we provide the spaces for the families to go and enjoy. See, in the past, I had only a small tree where I used to light up for 2 weeks, sometimes 13 days. Yeah, we have that light up all year round. And we will continue to ensure that the spaces that are for the families around Belmopan are worked on. We just finished with Las Flores. Las Flores got a nice park as well. GG Park, when you go out there, so every day you see people are out there. All the football fields around Belmopan, and they light up. The other day in a thief about 5 hour lights, but we replace them because we want to make sure that we have families that opportunity to go out there and enjoy themselves. You see, That's the difference between just identifying problems and solving them. I want to thank Minister of Education for his never-ending and always supporting our students. It's not easy, but more than ever, young people of Belmopan are afforded the opportunity for an education. Compre free. I know no like hear that word, you know. We don't like hear that word free. They don't like hurt. Yes, it hurt them because one spell them and they talk about it too, you know. But they couldn't make sure it happened. It took a PUP government to make free education happen. And compre free. Compre free. And only compre free, they get to a uniform and they get food too. And this is to make sure that our young people have that opportunity of an education. If anything my parents gave to me was an education, and education has given me opportunities to where I am today. And I remember the first time I went to study in England, thanks to the Belize Defense Force. I never have no water at my house, EPM. I never have no shower. I never have no start at home with the inside bathroom and shower. I got in a creek. I got in a creek. I was shameful to say that. That's where I come from, you know. That's why we appreciate this government initiative of a start at home. That's why we appreciate it. Because it transforms people's lives. I never get no house, you know, but you know what? And I remind the DPM the other day, you know what? Transfer for we life, while he piece of land with nothing on it. Only the land transfer for we lives. Because while we were squatting at the suburbs, while we squat in the suburbs of Belmopan, when we get the land, we can then build something for the family. And I said, a lot of we, you know, I had the first at 10. Everybody. And I have engineers, 2 engineers, technicians, entrepreneurs, everybody. Proud of what they have done. And that was through education. And therefore, when it comes to education, I know hold back. And I don't want to, I know, matter who. Because I want to make sure that you get. And one day I was speaking to a little group of young, very small children. And the teacher asked them, what do you want to be? And one little boy, he never had no shoes. And he reminded me of me. Because when I got to school, I never had shoes sometimes. So what do you want to be? I said, I want to be Prime Minister. And other little picnic look on and laugh. I said, no. You can be the Prime Minister of this country if that is what you want to be. You got to dream big, always dream big. Thank you very much, Minister of Education, for your support. And you know what? To those students from Aset, San Ignacio, those that are from Belmopan and the surrounding villages, Ministry of Education is going to provide a bus so that you don't have to go catch bus and you don't have to pay passage. Thank you very much, sir. We are adding a bus run from Belmopan to San Ignacio so that you can get transportation. Yes. And those students who go to Baptist High School, those students from Belmopan will go to Baptist High School and have to walk or have to pay bus, we will also be providing a new bus run from Belmopan to Baptist. I want to thank the Ministry of Education for always supporting and always being there when we call upon. My office partnered with the University of Belize the other day, and we have a welding program going on right now, where through the Community Development Fund, we have been able to sponsor 12 of those students to go to University of Belize and do the welding program. That's a 6 months program where we come out and be certified. The previous year, we did a mechanics program, partnering with the University of Belize. And we have more of those coming, because we not only need education with the maths and the English, we also need trade. Welders right now are being employed all over the place. So thank you very much, University of Belize, for partnering with my office and making sure that we get this program much needed. Over $1.1 million investment in a new 8-classroom building for Our Lady of Guadalupe through SIF. Thank you very much to the Minister of Economic Transformation. You will be transforming the lives of so many children with that one building. It has been approved, and it is becoming a reality. NEHI, and when Mr. Castro and wife the Belmopan, they tell people and educate people about NEHI, everybody excited. Because now health will be affordable. And I urge everybody from Belmopan to please go and register at NEHI. There are 2 centers where you can go and register. And one of them is the polyclinic at the Western Regional. Please go. Now, a big deal. Go and register. This is how you make your money for we Bolito work for the benefit of the Belizean people. And we don't forget the tertiary level hospital, you know, because it's coming. It is coming. By February 2029, it's supposed to open. Supposed to be open.